The best piano teacher that I ever had used to always say that the difference between a good pianist and a great pianist came down to just one thing: voicing. In other words, the ability to play a melody beautifully. In this tutorial, I'm going to share 3 steps that you can take to play your melody as beautifully as possible. And we're going to go through a real example because I'm not just going to give you these steps and then leave you to do it on your own. If you stay tuned till the end of the video, I'm also going to show you exactly how to master these steps in your practice so that you can truly make your melody sound as beautifully as possible starting today. Now, going through these 3 steps is also going to help you play your melody with more accuracy and more flow. Hey piano people, I'm Ashley from Ashley Young Music Studio, where I'm all about teaching you how to practice smarter, not harder. Let's dive in. Step 1 to playing your melody as beautifully as possible is to know your melody well. Now, the way that you're going to do this is to sing along with it, which sounds simple, but let me actually show you how to do it. Let's look at the Moonlight Sonata. We are going to talk about measure 5, where the melody actually starts. And the Moonlight Sonata is an interesting piece because the way it actually starts, this is not our melody. But most people that play the Moonlight Sonata think that these 3 notes in the right hand that are so repetitive are the melody. And so oftentimes, people get really confused when it comes to knowing how to make the melody beautiful because they're confused about what the melody even is. So let's look at measure 5, and we're gonna sing along. It doesn't matter if you're a good singer. Okay, so you can hear that I sang along with the melody. Now, like I said, most people hear this part as the melody. So when I sing it, I'm forcing myself to stay with that melody and to sing along with la, la, la. Notice how I'm holding the note. La, la, la. And I'm not getting distracted by the inner notes. Now, oftentimes when I ask people to do this, what happens is they start around measure 5 and they'll sing la, 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 and then they immediately sing bum, 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 la, la, bum, 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 and that's wrong because this inner part is not actually the melody. So when you do this step in your piece, you want to make sure that you're really actually singing the melody, and that's it. Now, if you have trouble doing that with everything else that's going on in the piece, you can actually just take away everything and just play the melody. And just do that as many times as it takes to hear that. And then you can put the other hands and the other accompaniment patterns back in and still force yourself to sing along with just the melody. Now, when you're practicing this in your piece, you might start at the beginning because generally the beginning is where you're going to be the most familiar with the melody. So it's going to be the easiest to do this. And so we started right when the melody comes in at measure 5 in Moonlight Sonata. But we're going to jump around a little bit and we're going to go to a more challenging section now. Let's go to measure 15, where things get a lot more interesting harmonically. So this is what it sounds like. So the melody isn't actually complicated. If you look at just the melody, it's just la, la, but those are kind of hard notes to sing because they're not really easily found by the ear because they're a little bit dissonant, they're really close together. So let's do that again without any of the accompaniment, without the left hand. And you want to do this in time, even if you're just doing the melody. So I'm going to kind of like keep time, 2, 3. So notice that I'm doing it in time. So now that I'm a little familiar with the way that that melody sounds, let's add the other voices in and see if I can sing along with it, and you can try with me. So this is not our melody. There we go. And you would do that as many times as it takes for that to feel really comfortable and really easy. Step 2 to being able to play your melody as beautifully as possible is to make sure that you know the volume of every single melody note. And the way that you're going to do this is with dynamic numbers. And I'm going to explain exactly what that means and how to do it. But first, I also wanted to make sure that you knew that I have a free sight reading workshop that you can get access to for free that's going to teach you the 3 steps that you can take to sight read with more accuracy and flow every single time your fingers touch the keys. I'm going to link it in the description, and then I will also link it on the end screen of this tutorial, and I want you to make sure that you snag a copy so that you can sight read with more expression and flow every time. Let me show you how you do these dynamic numbers. Assigning dynamic numbers is one of my absolute favorite revolutionary practice methods because it basically helps you take dynamics and make them much less ambiguous. It helps you decide exactly and concretely what dynamic every note of your melody is, and it gives you a way to practice it. So what we're going to do is basically take a set of numbers. We're going to take 1 to 10, and 1 is going to be the quietest, 10 is going to be the loudest. And of course, we have access to every single dynamic number in between. So if 1 is the quietest and 10 is the most forte, we can also say like 1 is here, 2 is here, 3 is here, and we can get louder and louder as the numbers go on. So what we're going to do is look at the melody notes and assign a specific dynamic number for every single melody note, okay? And this way you are going to know exactly how you are playing the melody notes. So let's take a look. In measure 5, we have a G, 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 and then G, 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 A, G, F, B, E. That wasn't totally in time, but you get the idea. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers in one phrase. Now, the dynamics in this score say pianissimo, so we're going to probably start pretty quiet. So maybe I'll do like a 1, 1, 1, or let's say 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Maybe something like that. And when you're going through this step, it's actually a little bit of an experiment because you have to come up with a plan and try it out and see if you even like it. And you might adjust and tweak as you go, and it might take you like 3 or 4 times of coming up with different dynamic numbers to find a shape for the phrase that you really, really like. Now, it is easiest when you do this step to work in phrases. That's why I'm taking the pick up to measure 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because that's our first little melodic phrase. So let's try that again. I'm going to see if I can do what I just did. So 1, 1, 2, and then same volume, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. I like that shape. I'm not counting it correctly, the rhythm wasn't correct. So I would keep doing this until I get it to the point that I really like that shape. And then I would say, okay, I'm writing this in the score. And this is 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. And that is now my shape. Those are my dynamics for my melody, and I don't change them from this point forward. Step 3 that you can take in order to play your melody as beautifully as possible is to master the dynamics. This is basically the type of practice that you're going to do in order to take those dynamic numbers that you assigned and really internalize them so that your hands, your brain is going to remember them regardless of if you're thinking of them actively as you're playing or not. I'm going to show you exactly how to practice this, but I also wanted to let you know about my free Facebook community. If you are not already a member there, get your booty on over there and join. I release more content in the Facebook community. There are members that can answer questions. We do live events. It's such an incredible community, and it's supportive and encouraging. And if you're not there, you're definitely going to want to join because there's a lot of free value in that group. I'll link it in the description, and after you're done with this tutorial, you can go ahead and join. Now, as you work to master the dynamics, really, yes, there is some element of this that's going to be about your hand and your arm being able to actually play the dynamics you want, but this is really about listening and tuning your ear in to see, am I doing the dynamic numbers that I actually decided on? So let's try that. We decided on 1, 1, 2. Okay, and I'm going to put the rhythm back in here so I'm doing it in time. So let's try that again. 1, 1, 2. See, and even just in those 3 notes, I did quiet, and then the second one stuck out, and then the third one was actually quieter. So that wasn't correct. So let's try it again. 1, 1, 2, seeing if I can get that to be really even. Good. Now we're at 2, 2, 3. And that second one stood out again. So when you get to this point, you're going to take your phrase where you assign the dynamic numbers and you're going to break it down into smaller little sections of maybe 2 or 3 notes. And you're really going to tune your ear in to see, am I actually playing what I decided I was going to play. And that's why dynamic numbers are so fantastic, because they give you a way to concretely know if you hit the metric or not. If you're saying this section is piano and this section is forte, that's really ambiguous, but dynamic numbers make it less ambiguous and more concrete. So we would practice this until you can do the dynamic numbers. And then once you can do the dynamic numbers, you're going to do it 8 or 10 or 15 times in a row, so that those dynamic numbers become ingrained in your muscle memory, so that even if you're not thinking about them actively, your hand still remembers how to do them. And once you've gone through the steps in this video, if you want to know the next steps that you can do to take the melody, now that it's all beautiful, and combine it with the accompaniment pattern without messing it all up, make sure that you check out this other tutorial that I did where I show you the next steps, which is exactly how to take this beautiful melody and combine it with the accompaniment so that it still sounds as beautiful as possible. You can check that video out, as well as snag a free copy of that sight reading workshop right here on the end screen. Happy practicing.